Hi, today we're with Gila, who is an accomplished author and with whom I've had several conversations, always enlightening, always deep. And Gila's going to share her wisdom today on the fact that she's an author because she really, really believed in herself. She knew how to go after that dream. And she said, I am an author. And she started producing some wonderful literature. So hi, Gila, and thank you for being with us.
Hi, Bev. Thanks for having me with you. So today I think I'm going to try to help other people by focusing on having a very strong inner compass and being self-directed. And I think maybe the analogy we were using before with WiSh is a good analogy. You can't use WiSh if you don't know where you're going, where you want to go. And many writers come to me and they just say, I want to publish. I want to be a writer. But they don't really know, what do you want to do with your writing? What does that mean? Do you want to be a New York Times bestselling author? Did you go through something difficult in the past and you want to help other people? Do you want to be a career author? Or, but really your main career is teaching or in medicine or in law? Or do you just want to write one book that accompanies your main career? There's a lot of cloudiness around writing and authors and what you want to do. So if you want to be successful, you need to know what your destination is, or it's very, very hard to get there. You might get there by chance, but you probably won't. Okay, very few people achieve their dreams by chance.
Right.
So that's one thing. Once you do have a destination, you need to be very inner directed and not allow external voices redirect you all the time. That's not to say that the same with WiSh when you're driving and they suggest an alternative route, etc. That's not to say you should ignore alternative routes. Okay, if you're having trouble getting a novel published and somebody suggests, why don't you try publishing a few short stories, get your feet wet or whatever. It's not to say, no, I'm going to publish a novel, I'm not wavering. That's not what I mean by achieving what you want to achieve. But when you let other people change your destination, which happens very frequently, it's really it's a sad thing. If you want to write and you want to publish, not every publication is New York Times level. There are space for a lot of different writers at a lot of different levels, for fiction, for nonfiction, for different lengths of fiction, etc. There's a lot of space out there. People write brilliant cookbooks with a lot of culinary history in them. There's really a lot of space.
Yeah.
And let someone redirect you, because mostly rejection. Okay, being rejected is a huge part of being a writer, and so they just give up, or whatever it is. Editors who tell you aren't good, people who are not skilled at criticizing, because criticism is skill. All of those things redirect people's destination, and that, I think, unfortunately throws people from achieving their dreams. They become sometimes they become resentful, they become cynical. I've met a lot of writers who are like, oh, you must know people, you must have connections, there's no other way you could have this publication. Meanwhile, if they knew how far away I lived from anything literary.
Glad. So in other words, what you're saying is, you've got the dream, but if you don't know where you begin, and reality must be part of the mix, and reality is this a good idea? Where will I get the money? Where will I get the time? Should I be writing a novel, or should I be writing short stories? In other words, the clarity will come. Have the dream, but in the here and now, explore and try and get the clarity on what you want. And yes, you might have to readjust and realign, because you might fall down. You might get as you took the example of WiSh, you might get that puncture, a flat tire on the way to your destination. And what does it mean? Does it mean you need to turn back, or does it mean you need to go forward? Yes, you might get that rejection, but it probably means let's just look at this again and realign. So I love that. I loved your analogy and your metaphor, and I think it applies to all our dreams. So thank you so much.
Shame, I've lost some of the volume.
I said thank you so much for being with us.
I don't know if you can hear me. Thank you so much, Bev, for having me. It was lovely to speak with you.
My pleasure.
All right, take care.